thank you everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honour to be here this evening. I've not seen a turnout like this on the mainland for a very long time. It's an incredible. You do justice to yourselves. And I wouldn't presume to come here this evening and preach to you about the nuances involved in the difficulties of your negotiations with a hostile employer. But I can share with you some of my experiences on the mainland where we've been facing these kinds of savage public sector cuts for the last 2.5 years. The Institute for Fiscal Studies predicts that 1 in 6 public sector jobs will be lost by 2017-18. In total, that will be 1.2 million job losses. And make no mistake about it, these job losses will lead, inevitably, to worse public services. The membership I predominantly service is in Bristol. Some of you may be familiar with some of the outrages that we've seen on national television. I deal with home care, for example. Some of you may have seen the Panorama programme on Winterbourne View. Some of you may have seen the abuses at Amorosa Villa. Some of you may have seen the reports of CQC, who now record that the private sector is at breaking point through underfunding. Looking after our young, our elderly, and our most vulnerable adults. What kind of modern civilized society is it, whereby at a time when those who are most wealthy continue to expand their wealth, that we make those that are most vulnerable in our society pay the price. I'll also make another point that's not been made so far. Women. Women make up 65% of public sector employees in the UK, 75% in local government, 77% in the NHS, and 80% in adult social care. Female unemployment in the UK is at a 25-year high. The actual number of females made unemployed in the UK since this current government came to power accounts for 100% of the increase in unemployment in the UK. That's a shocking statistic, but that's a singular effect on over 50% of the population. And what about the pay gap? Because make no mistake about it, what you're facing now will inevitably lead to privatisation. Don't imagine for one moment on this island that you'll be immune from that. I deal with companies like Serco who are already here in the state of Jersey and actively looking for business in the public sector. That will follow. The pay gap between men and women in the public sector is 13.2%, in the private sector 20.4%. Quite simply, by failing to improve pay in line with the cost of living, they devalue your jobs, and they devalue the qualities that you bring all of the citizens of this island. And that's a disgrace. They fail to value what you do. They fail to value, in many cases, years of training and dedication. None of you, working for the state, came into those jobs to become wealthy. You have an obstructive, unlistening, unsympathetic employer. They are already attacking you. And I say, and Unite says, it's time to fight back. We hear over and over again from many workers, many members of trade unions, what's the point? We can't win. Yes, we can win. We've just come out of an almost 2-year campaign in Southampton City Council, where not only did we win, but we threw out the very councillors that make decisions attacking the most vulnerable and attacking the terms and conditions of our members. And we can do exactly the same here. So what's in it for the ordinary citizen? Well, again, I go back to the Office of National Statistics. A quarter of all home care services in mainland UK now fail to meet health and safety and quality standards. Is that something that the citizens of Jersey want for their families, for their most vulnerable people? 8% of Jersey workers work in public services, and the island relies upon over 40% of employment in the finance sector. The Prime Minister says, and has recently said again, that we're all in this together. That's a lie. There is nothing about this that means we're all in this together. The Chancellor announced, and again I know this relates to the mainland, a reduction in the top rate of income tax from 50% to 45% to deter many of those in the finance sector from leaving these islands, and we are a group of islands. And what happened? The very businesses that let us down in the first place announced that they would delay paying their full bonuses to their employees until after the introduction of the reduction in the rate of income tax. What an absolute disgrace, what a slap in the face to all of us that are in this together. These are the people that created the mess that we're now in. You must not be the people that pay for that solely. And I say, we will stand by you and let's fight back.